Okay, so let's make a basic LED torch. Here are some little LEDs here. There we go. It's got a clear plastic tip to it. And then there's a yellow one there and an orange one. You get them in all different colours, but we're not going to use one of those today. Oh, one of those, one of those. What we're going to do is use one of, did you spot it? One of these. So this is an absolutely tiny little LED, and it hasn't got a connection soldered to it yet. And at the very back there are two little metal pads which are for the connections to make it light up. So let's put it out of the way. Well, we're not going to solder it in this little exercise. I've already done that, and there it is there. So there are the solder connections with the two wires coming out of the back. And there's the symbol for an LED, strange symbol. If you were to compare that to something like an ordinary lamp that lights up, so there's our little light bulb, that would be the symbol used in a circuit that you would draw. But LEDs are not the same as light bulbs, and we'll go through that in another video. But of course we're used to LEDs. They would have lamps, they have two wires which we can join to a battery. Also do LEDs, two wires which we can join to a battery. So let's look at the parts we're going to use. So we're going to use a foam block, two holes there, because this is going to take two of the normal AA cells to light it up. We've got two elastic bands, we've got some paper fasteners, and some sleeves. So sleeves are these little red tubes, and electricians use them in order to cover up bare parts of wires. I have already cut through and the insulation on towards the ends of these two wires, and this is going to help cover that when we join the bare wires onto some metal fasteners. So we'll see how that works in just a second. So let's take the parts away and start with our little LED on the wires. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull off the plastic insulation, so get a firm grip of the actual wire near the bare part that you're going to pull off. So let's do that again. Grip near it, don't grip the LED. In fact, keep away from that end and don't start pulling and tugging at it, because that's rather delicate. Just this end for now. Grip the wire firmly, finger and thumbs, thumb and fingers, sorry. Pull off the plastic wire and the plastic insulation, and then you'll see all the strands of wire. Well, they're not very helpful to us, so we're going to twist the strands up and strengthen them. The individual strands can snap off, and it's far better to give them a good tight twist. The next one, and that gets all of the strands together. Twist it lots and lots of times up right to the very end, and it'll be much stronger for what we're trying to do today. So then what we're going to do is take a sleeve. We're going to slide the wire, the bare part of it, up the sleeve. Now we don't want it all the way up. What we're going to do is just leave a tiny little bit sticking out, just a tiny bit. That's enough there, look. And then bend it over to form a little hook. And the idea with the little hook is when we go to add a metal paper fastener, the little hook simply stops that wire from pushing its way out through the sleeve where it came in. So it's a bit of a trap for it. So in it goes, look. And what's happened is the sleeve is holding the fastener and the wire in contact with each other. So now what we're going to do is put the next one on. Same as before, the wire slides up through the hollow sleeve, a little bit sticks out through the end. We bend over the bare wire at the end, take another fastener, pop it in down the hole. All the way down, so the fastener goes all the way down. So then what we're going to do is leave ourselves some spare bare wire. If we'd twisted this all the way up to the end, we wouldn't have been able to move these connections to where they're going to touch the batteries. So I'll just unloosen a bit more just to give us some slack there. So there's our two long wires ready to touch onto the batteries. There's our little LED ready to light up. Try and remember, don't bend any of the wire near the LED, because it's very fragile at that point and we don't want to break it away or damage it. So put that to one side. Now let's turn our attention to the block. As we said, the block's got 2 holes in it. Let's take a felt pen just to show you those holes, look. And there we are, they're highlighted. Now in the extreme other end as well, there's a small hole. So 2 larger holes at the bottom end there, so that's going to be the bottom where it stands up. Could lie down, I suppose. And a small hole at the top. So now what we're going to do is take 2 of the normal AA cells, and both of these cells, look, the cells are going to pop in. One's going to, it doesn't matter which way you put the first one in, so that's the flat end sticking out, so the end with the bump on it is the opposite end, there it is. But the next one that goes in, I want you to put it in the opposite way. So there we are, there's the plus of the this particular cell, that's the bump end of the battery, and that opposite end, that's the minus or the flat end. So let's put it in that way up. So plus there, minus there. We're going to take an elastic band. The elastic band is going to be used to hold the connections onto the battery. So it simply pulls around and pulls them down. Now these elastic bands are a little bit long. You can get much sort of shorter, tighter ones. So in this particular case, what I'm going to do is double the elastics to make them tighter. So we'll put the elastics around the batteries straight away. Double it, put it around like that. And then what we're going to do is join in our connections. Now just to get this wire more neatly out of the way for the moment, what we're going to do is this. We're going to take a pair of scissors, and then we're going to go into the top end where that hole is, and we're going to make a little cut. Now it's only one prong of the scissors, in it goes. Scissor cut, you don't have to go very far down. I'll just make that little cut, highlight that little cut with the felt pen, look. There it is. So not very far. And the idea is here, what we're going to do is, again, keep away from that bit of the LED, push the wire in like that, and then we can alter the position of the LED a little bit later. But just for now, it keeps the LED from waving around while we're trying to complete the connections. So here we go, it doesn't matter which side of the battery we'll go to, but you'll notice whichever side we've got one opposite the other, so that's a plus, that's a minus, or on the other side, that's a plus, that's a minus. So it doesn't matter which side, let's choose this one, look. What we're going to try and do is thread the connections along so that the elastic bands hold them. So I'm going to put that one underneath like that. That's going to lead to the bottom. That's going to go like that. And then we're going to take the other one and pop it onto that connection. Now, really, it's trial and error first of all. These 2 wires are both coloured red, so we've got no indication of which way around these 2 connections should be. Because the big difference between an LED and a bulb is, a normal light bulb, is that LEDs are polar. They're polarized, people say. That means they have to have the correct plus and minus connections to a battery. So although there isn't a plus and minus marked on, in actual fact we've got to get the plus and minus the right way around. Well, this one hasn't lit up. Well, that's not really a surprise because we might have it the right way around. It's just that we haven't got a complete circuit. So what we're going to do is use another fastener. Look, just for now, look, we'll just open the fastener out like this. And we'll tuck that fastener underneath. Here it goes. Like that. And then tuck it in. Now in this particular case, the LED has lit up straight away. That's rather bright. There it goes. There's our little LED. So I guessed right. It doesn't matter about this guessing idea, but if I had have got that connection the opposite way around, it's simply that the LED would not have lit up. So then you swap them. It's as simple as that. If it doesn't work this way around, swap them to that way around. As far as this goes, well, this is a bit like a switch, isn't it? Because at the moment the LED is turned on, and if we remove that link, we've turned it off. Now it's not really a very good switch because we'll have to put it backwards and forwards onto there. So what I'm going to do is give you a chance to think. Well, here's our basic torch. Don't worry about the wire sticking out. We're going to sort that out in a second. What I'd like you to do is have a think. How could we modify that little paper clip and then create a better switch which we can in some way use to give us better control over the LED being on or off. The switch isn't going to work at all, remember, unless your connections to the battery are nice and firmly in position. So that's often a thing you've got to check before anything else. If you find your switch isn't working, well, it's such a simple part, it should. Maybe these connections have moved and they're not properly connected. So let's complete the video there, and we'll come back with another video, and what it'll do is maybe show an idea for how to adapt the paperclip to form a better switch. In the meantime, let's see if you can think about that.